Hello and welcome to our introductory ClickFunnels demo. If you're ready to unlock the full potential of ClickFunnels and take your business to the next level, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know to confidently navigate and utilize ClickFunnels like a pro. We will go through a dashboard breakdown, we'll explore all of the powerful apps to utilize, and make some adjustments to our workspace settings to ensure you're set up for success. Then we're going to dive deep into the funnel building process, step by step showing you how to create and customize funnels that convert. You'll learn how to understand how to navigate the editor to make your changes to your pages and explore the amazing elements to implement. Once our funnel is set up, we'll take a look at our funnel settings and review where analytics live, as well as an example product and explain how to customize your store and site. So whether you're brand new to ClickFunnels or you're looking to just refine your skills, this video is packed with valuable and actionable tips to help you build your funnels that drive results. Let's jump in and get started. First and foremost, I want to refer to the Help button. This is going to be essential when you have any questions related to building your funnels or anything else you would need for your business. Make sure to take advantage of this if you feel stuck at any point. So first, let's start with an overview of the dashboard. At the forefront is our stats, and these will update as we build out our funnels and start to bring in sales. Below that are any notifications that you may have. So you can see that I have some fulfillment notifications here, but this can be related to anything where you have notifications. Now below our notifications, we have our setup guide. This is what's going to guide you through setting up your first essential steps to launch your first funnel and start selling online. So make sure to tackle these steps first. Now let's shift our attention over to the sidebar where we have our main navigation bar at the top to allow you to access your funnels, products, and customers easily, as well as the quick navigation to the One Funnel Away challenge within the Training tab. Below that is our Apps tab, and this is completely customizable, so you can tailor which apps you want to have easy access to. If I want to add an app, I can click this plus button, and now I can see all of the different apps that I can take advantage of. In ClickFunnels, apps are tools that allow you to run your business, and you may need all of them, but you also may only need a few. The main thing is not cluttering you with the apps you don't need, so make sure you organize your apps as you see fit. Now, there are so many apps to choose from. For example, we have automations, which can assist with email sends, webhooks, lead scoring, drip campaigns, SMS notifications, so many things. It's extremely versatile and very handy. We also have courses, for example. So in here, you can build out courses with multiple modules and have comprehensive lessons. It also allows you to set up a membership area for your students where materials can be accessed through a sign-up or enrollment. And you can easily manage progress and monitor engagement through the dashboard, so the Courses app could be the perfect app for you. Message Hub is also a great app to take advantage of. So in here, we have the ability to use multi-channel messaging, so sending and managing communications across several different platforms. There's automated follow-ups, there's message segmentation, you have a centralized inbox, and of course, analytics and tracking. So Message Hub is a really powerful app to take advantage of as well. And you'll also see apps in here like Opportunities, which allows you to track and manage sales leads, prospects, and potential leads with their funnels. So basically a CRM tool that allows sales pipeline management. Okay, enough about the apps. I'd recommend going into each of these that sound interesting to you, and you'll find a video explanation of the overview of the app along with all the key functionalities on the right-hand side. Between these resources, it should give you a good idea of what the app is and how to implement it within your business. If you want to add the app, you can select the Add App button here on the top. Again, a quick reminder that if you have any questions, be sure to click the Help button to get more information. Now let's head over to our workspace settings. There's a lot to go over here, so I'm going to hit the ones to focus on. Currently on screen, we see the general settings, so we can edit our workspace name, the logo icon, and our workspace and site subdomain. Below are the payment settings to set up the payment method types and the currencies that you would accept. You can add a prefix or suffix to your order number in the order number format section, and the delete test order section will allow you to remove all test orders and associated payments from your workspace. The billing tab here is if you ever want to upgrade your ClickFunnels account, and here in the Collaborators tab, you can assign different levels of access to collaborators within your account. This can be useful for teams or agencies that work with multiple people in the same sales funnel. There are different levels of access you can assign, so be sure to set this up if applicable. The next tab I want to take a look at is domains, and this is one of the first things people like to set up, and you can do so here. The two options are either to get a free domain or connect an existing domain. It's really easy to set up a free domain through ClickFunnels, and you can follow the steps there. Connecting an existing domain is also easy as authorizing an automated system, and it'll add the domain for you. Another tab here is the Email Settings tab, and in here you can manage all your email properties and how emails are sent, including SMTP setup. Moving to System Emails, there are automated emails that send when someone joins your community, for example, or becomes an affiliate. You can customize those emails or toggle them off within this setting. Now let's take a look at themes. A theme is a design template that determines the overall look and feel of the pages within your sales funnel. So themes provide a consistent style across all the pages in a funnel. That includes your layout, your color schemes, font, button styles, and other visual elements. There are a variety of pre-built themes that you can choose from, but you can also customize and save your own. If we click Add New Theme on the top right, the theme marketplace opens, giving us a variety of options to choose from. Once you've selected the one you like, you can install it and it'll show up within the list. To customize the theme, you'll want to click the Customize button and we will automatically be loaded into the editor where you can edit everything from your homepage, your storefront, your blog home, and more. We will dive deeper into the page editor later. The last setting I want to bring your attention to is the Styles tab here, and what styles allow you to do is set standardized parameters for different design elements such as your fonts, colors, buttons, and more. Setting this up will save you time in the long run, and we definitely recommend getting familiar with styles. If we head back to our main dashboard, all of the settings we've adjusted are within the workspace, hence the Workspace Settings. Now if I expand this pop-out below, we can see the Workout with Me workspace, and it lives inside a team. You can have multiple teams set up and multiple workspaces set up within those teams. This can be useful if you need to set up additional parameters when working with collaborators. You may want to make team setting changes, which can be done from the dropdown here. All successful funnels have a starting point. Let's walk through the details on how to set up our first funnel. Select Funnels from the navigation bar, and then we will go ahead and click the Create Funnel button. There are two different ways you can start your funnel. The first is through a funnel type, and there are several different templates you can choose from, as you can see here. The other is starting a funnel from scratch, so we have the option to do that. To learn more about each funnel type and the templates associated, we can select one and the video explainer will appear to give you an overview of the funnel, the strategy behind it, and how to implement it. We can also see the funnel steps below to better understand the journey. Okay, for this particular example, let's go ahead and use the cart funnel. Once I select it, we can preview all of the different templates to start from, or we can start from scratch, as I mentioned before. Something to note here is that we can see all of the different templates with different styles. Each of them have a different style guide associated, things like fonts, colors, buttons, and more. If you've previously set up your style guide and prefer to use it over the different templates, you will need to make a change within the funnel settings. I'll show you in a moment, but for now, let's pick this template and have it installed into our account. It will take a moment to install and load, and once it does, we will have a view of our funnel editor. We can see all of the changes of our newly built funnel, and I can edit each individual by hovering over and selecting Edit. Before we make any edits, let's check our funnel settings. Here, we can give our funnel a new name. We can choose what domain we want our funnel on, and if you've added your own custom domain, you can select it here. Below is the funnel path URL, so you can format the extension of the URL for this specific funnel. Below that, we have a test mode on a toggle, so if you want to test out your purchases through a funnel, you can do that. There are more settings to look at, but I want to bring your attention to this section here, the style. We can see that our style is Cart Funnel 3. That's the style of the template that we chose. If you previously set up your style guide, you can click the drop-down here and you can apply your style to have it overwrite the current template. All right, let's head back to our page editor and look at the functionalities. When I move across the page, you can see different editing options popping up. There are three main building blocks to look at here. First, we have our green sections. Next, we have our rows, which are blue, and then finally, we have our orange elements. Let's touch on green sections first. If I come up to the top and select the gear icon, it will give all of my section settings. Here within the settings, we have a lot of options to customize, the first being the top margin of the page, so I can adjust how much headroom I want. The paint section below is tied to your style guide, and you can see the edit style colors below. Next is the padding on the page, so if you want to add any extra padding on your tops or sides, you can adjust down to the exact pixel or percentage. Additional to the size and position settings, you can also change out your background to a customized image or even video if you prefer. You can see our current background is white, and if I click here on the background color, I can immediately change that if I want. I also have the option to do a gradient, but let's say I want to follow my style guide and apply the colors that I've already set up. I can go over to this tab and I can see all of the colors I've previously set up and select one if I want. Below that, we have borders, shadows, and corners. These continue to give you more options to customize your page and get the exact look you're looking to achieve. So these are the section settings in a nutshell. Let's take a look at rows now. As you can see, these settings are very similar to our section settings, so we can make all of the same adjustments, but they will be applied to our row versus our section. We have the top margin slider, an option to select your style, the size and positioning settings, as well as background, borders, shadows, and corners. So everything should feel pretty uniform when editing your settings. Now, before we move on to the elements and everything involved with them, I want to touch on coding within ClickFunnels. Over time, we've simplified the user experience so that you can fully customize without the knowledge of code, but we still want to cater to users with the knowledge or preference. If I want to edit the code directly involved with this row setting, I can by clicking the code button here at the bottom. Additionally, I can back out of these row settings and head up to our overall settings and select code from the dropdown to give us an option to add any code you might want to add to the page. Now moving on, let's talk about elements. As you can see from the pop-out here on the right, there are a lot of different elements, from content elements to media elements, buttons, checkouts, dividers, timers. The list goes on, and there's a lot to review and play around with here. But when you decide what element you want to implement first, all we have to do is click and drag our element onto the page. You can see this orange line that shows me exactly where I want the element to be dropped. Now, just like our sections and rows, we can go to the gear icon here and access our element settings. Each element will have its own settings, so be cognizant of that. But for this headline element, we have similar settings we've seen before, like our top margin and padding. Here under typography, we have different style sizes to adjust, but let's say that you like the extra large, but just want it a little bigger. That's where we can come in here and click Override. This will allow us to override this particular element and won't affect the style anywhere else on the page or funnel. Within the override settings, we have a lot of details we can adjust, from the size, the spacing, the line height, and more. And there's also mobile settings if you want to have a different look on mobile versus your desktop version. If we navigate to the top, we have different icons that represent desktop and mobile, and I can click on either to have the module shift to the appropriate selection, so this gives you the idea of how your page would look on any device. I also want to make a note here that if you want any sizing to be larger than the slider allows, you can simply type a value into the box and it'll be applied to the element. So let's say I want my font to be much larger than 72. I can type it into the box and we can see that the new size has been applied. Now, let's say that this element is looking good, but we need to move it. I'll hover back over to my element and click and hold this move button, and I can freely move the element around and drop it wherever I may want for a new location. There's also this clone button to clone an element immediately, and beside clone is the code button, which will open our window to add any customized code we would like. The next option here is save, and save is really cool because I can save an element, I can save rows, sections. So let's say that this top bar is something that I want to use again. I can simply save it, and there are two options here. We can save it as a section, and I can pull it back into any page, or I can save it as a universal section. And what this means is that if I update it anywhere, it'll apply those updates everywhere. This is useful for when you have a repeating element across several pages and you need to make a uniform change to all of them. Or let's say you need to update the year in your footer. You can do that with a universal save. If we save anything, they can be easily found when adding a new row, section, or element. If I click on Add Section here, I can see at the top that we have our saved and universal sections. When you add in a universal section, it's labeled as a distinct purple to let you know that, hey, this is a universal section, and if anything is updated to this, it'll be applied to all pages that have this universal section. Okay, now I want to quickly jump back into elements and review a few along with the settings you will find within them. The first element I want to take a look at is the image element. If I drag it onto the page and open the settings, we will see a lot of similar settings we've seen previously, such as padding, corners, borders, and more. But if we look towards the top here, we have a section to source our image. If we click the image URL button, We can grab an image already uploaded within our account or upload an image from our computer. Once we've selected an image, the size and position can be adjusted as you see fit, and when sliding the image width, you can see that the height automatically scales so your image won't distort. Next, we have image settings, so we can adjust lazy loading, the overall quality percentage of our image on the page load, alignment, and our link action or URL choice. If I click here on the box, I'll have a drop-down and a few options will be given to me, like open pop-up, so when someone clicks on the image, a pop-up will occur. There are a few options there along with the custom URL we can redirect to. The next element we will review is the video element. Here in the video settings, you can simply grab a video URL from YouTube, Vimeo, Voomly, Wistia, HTML5, or a custom embed, and when dropped in here, the corresponding video will populate. Additionally, you have similar settings we've seen before on previous elements. Next up, we have our buttons element, and buttons are a lot of fun because they're highly customizable. We have a top margin adjustment to the top again, but I want to focus here on the button action section. From the dropdown, we have a lot of different options from submitting the page to opening a pop-up, redirecting. I'd recommend reading about all of the different actions that buttons can take. As we look through some of the formatting options, we can change the name of the button and add subtext. We can even customize the submit text, which is really cool, and we also have the option to add an ARIA label. Of course, we have size and spacing with the padding and alignment, but we also have the option to extend the button the full width of the column, so you can see my button jump back and forth between these options. Below are my button styles, so of course selecting the style you like or have set up, and like I've mentioned before, we also have the override option to make this particular button different from the rest. My customization options include changing out the color of the button or adjusting all of the text, like making it all caps. Maybe I just want to make this button bold. If we find ourselves going too far and we want a quick reset, there's a reset button directly underneath the override, and we can always undo all of the adjustments we've made. Now, the last element I want to go into detail here is our checkout element. The checkout element is actually right here on the page, so let's hop into the settings. Like other elements mentioned, there are a lot of customization options for the checkout, and one of the first things we want to decide is how many steps we want our checkout to be. We can either set up a one-step checkout, a two-step checkout, or a three-step checkout. Let's pick a two-step checkout, for example, and now I'm going to go back because I want to take a look at the different templates offered for the checkout. Let's find one that has a similar look to the current design, and it'll be automatically applied to the checkout element. Now that I have a template picked, I might want to tweak a few colors, so let's head into the settings and into the General Styles tab to adjust any colors or fonts here. There are so many adjustments that you can make to the checkout here, so I'm going to switch this back to a one-step so we can dive into shipping. Maybe you're not shipping a physical product. You can see the shipping being removed from a simple toggle. Maybe we want to adjust the contact form and remove the phone number part. There are a lot of different settings within the checkout element here, so I would encourage you to dive in if one looks applicable to you. One last thing here, you may want to add an image or any other element into the checkout element. You can now do that. If you hover over the elements, you'll see that we can add an element anywhere in here within the checkout. Let's add a product shot right here in the checkout for good measure. There are so many different features, settings, and customization options within the editor, and I could spend days explaining everything to you, but we also have so many great tutorials, so if you have any questions, be sure to click the help button and get more information you need. Okay, one last tip here, save your progress. It's super important to always save our work no matter what we're working on. A quick note is that if we want to make edits to other pages within our funnel, we can click the button with the 3 lines and we can view our entire funnel here. Clicking on any page will open it up within the editor, making it quick to jump back and forth between pages while making edits. I'm going to exit the editor and head back out to the full funnel. Now that we have a page flushed out, let's go back into the funnel settings and take a look again at the funnel path URL. Let's set a name for this funnel. I'm going to name it Cookie because of our cookie product. When we click Update at the bottom, we will see our URL updated at the top now, and if I send someone to this link, they will show up on the first page. Each page of our funnel has different options, and if you click the 3 dots, we will open the dropdown. This is where we can set up split test, we can clone, edit, preview the page, you can add products. So there are a lot of settings here, and this is where we can edit our URL of each page as well. So maybe I would rather have this say checkout page over cart page. Now, this is important to note. If you put something in the field that already exists, ClickFunnels will add an extension so that it's differentiated from the page that already exists with that same URL path. So this would show as a checkout page with a random assortment of numbers and letters, and you can update that as you see fit. Below our URL path, we have SEO title and description. This is what autofills when sharing on social media, for example, or the title that shows up on your browser tab, so make sure that it's a fitting title. Below, we have the ability to index in a search engine, so it might be a good idea to turn this on for the first page of your funnel. The last thing I want to note here is that if you test your checkout, make sure you head back to your funnel settings and toggle on test mode. Once you make sales, you'll want to see your stats. By default, we can see some individual stats on each page. We can also see a more detailed overview of our stats on the left side, and the dropdown will allow us to change the time frame that we want to view. If we want additional information on our stats, we can click the button in the stats section on the top left, and a new window will open up with more advanced analytics, and we can see the views, opt-ins, sales, and more on this page. All right, let's shift gears and talk about products and how to set up a product so we can make some sales. I'm going to navigate up here to the top left bar and then select Products, and then All Products. From here, we can see a list of all our products below, and I can also create a new product from the top right button. Let's set one up, and the first step we encounter is whether the product is digital or physical. Make your selection and fill out the required fields to continue. I'm going to show off one of the pre-made products here, Fit Life Bootcamp. This is a digital product, and when I open the product up, we can see a number of fields to fill out. We have the name, the description, and a place to add images. Below that, we can set the pricing, and the neat thing here is that we can set up multiple prices for one product. In this example, we have a bootcamp that's $100, but maybe I have a separate funnel running a special promotion and I want to sell it for 10% off. I can come up here and add price and set a new price tag of $90. Additionally, you can toggle tax on and off depending on your taxable situation. And for inventory and shipping, this is a digital product, so we don't have to worry about that. If this were a physical product, I can check the physical product box and I can add the details of the product as well as fill out the fulfillment fields. Below are purchase actions, so maybe you want to give access to someone who purchased a subscription to a course, exclusive content, or maybe just community access. When having this set up, the system knows to trigger access removal if someone were to cancel their purchase or file for a refund. As we move down here, we can add variants, so this is perfect for clothing where sizes or different colors of products are offered. Below are the SEO and sharing options, and the sharing option allows you to let others copy your product and use it in their own funnels and pages. The last section I want to go into detail here are the commission settings. We can set if the commission is on and what percentages affiliates get. If we head back to the top, we have sales channel visibility, so will this product show in my online store? There's a toggle for this as well as whether this is in the customer center. Make your selections and always update the product if you've made any adjustments that need to be saved. Next up, let's talk about the store. Either select store from the left sidebar or add it in the app section to get access. From the overview, we can see right at the top the ability to create or add existing products. Below are some of the stats that would apply specifically for this store. Let's do some customizing to our store and head into the editor by clicking Customize Store. Now at the top of the video, we discussed setting up themes, and all of these pages come with a theme. Of course, here in the editor is where we can replace anything we want, such as the header image or the font sizing. Whatever it may be, we can edit it right here in the storefront. Now as I move around here, you'll notice a pink colored box appear. This is called a product collection, which is a set of products that dynamically update based on my products. Collections can be a number of things. For example, a blog collection that would be dynamically updated based on new blog posts. So collections can be really useful. If we want to make any edits to any of my pages here in the store, we can navigate through the pages on the top left and do so. Along with the store, we have the ability to edit our site pages. So to get to our site, let's head back to the apps bar and select Site. Remember, if you don't have the site app, you can download it from the plus button. Let's take a look at the overview where we can see a recent blog post and add new blog posts here as well. Below, we can manage our site pages or add a new page. Let's jump into edits by clicking the button on the top right, and we will be dropped into our homepage. Here we can make any changes we would like to see to our website homepage. The editor works just the same as it did in the funnel editor and the store editor, so everything feels uniform when adding your customization. In the top left, we can also make changes to pages, such as our blog home or go through the blog post template. Again, you'll notice the pink-colored collection show up here. This is a collection of blog posts that dynamically change. Let's say I want to adjust from 2 to 3 blog posts per row. I can come in here and adjust the settings, and it'll dynamically change that for me. Just remember to always save before moving on. As I go through the pages, maybe there's a page missing that I want to add in. Here a bit lower, I can click the plus button to add a page to my site and edit it as I see fit. Okay, and before we sign off here, remember to always click that help button at the top if you have any questions throughout the process of exploring. There is so much more to understand about ClickFunnels, but we hope this video helped guide you through the process of understanding where to begin. Make sure to leave a comment if you have any questions, and we will see you in the next video.